Hello, my name is Trudy, One Grounded Angel, and I'm going to read some angel cards for you for the week starting August the 10th through to the 16th, 2020. So I use a different angel card reading deck for each day that I'm reading for, and I shuffle until a card jumps out or until I get a message to stop. And the aim is to get messages that will give us clarity on what it is that we're going to be facing, or what sort of things are showing up for us on any given day. But remember, it's not necessarily confined to that day. So if you're watching this video now and you're seeing cards that you're like, I think I already know what that means, go with that. So here's Monday's card. It's an angel called Fiona, and it is all about receiving. Now here's the part we often forget. Love and healthy relationships of any nature, platonic, romantic, professional, need to have a healthy balance of giving and receiving. We forget the receiving part. We're so busy running around trying to help people. Most of us are. I don't think there's any narcissists watching this video, so I'll assume most of you are more inclined towards the giving than the receiving. We're so focused on this act of service that we often forget about letting people help us. Maybe we grew up in households where we were taught that it was a weakness to ask for help or support, and that there was a certain pride attributed to doing everything yourself and being independent, whereas in actual fact we're hardwired for connection, and to connect deeply with others we need to be willing to give and receive. So this is what Fiona is talking about here. I will read this message because you'll see how there's a deeper element here. Now that you've asked the angels for help, be open to receiving divine guidance and assistance. You deserve heaven's help. So a couple of things come up with that. One is receiving help from the divine. So it's not just about the people around you, letting them help you, letting them give you compliments and, kindnesses. It's also about heaven, and in a way they're actually one and the same, because the universe often works through other people. So if someone is offering to, babysit your kids so you can go and work on your passion project or something like that, and you say no because you are worried about being a burden, you're cutting yourself off from support. Maybe the universe sent that person to help you at that given time. It's difficult for the universe to help us if we are saying no to opportunities that will help us. So really think about that. And also another thing to think about is, if you are asking for help with a situation, make sure you're actually willing to receive help, even if it's not through other people. It could be some other means. I'm struggling to think of an example here, but some sort of situation where you might be denying yourself help. Here it is, actually. It's in this last sentence. You deserve heaven's help. In other words, self-worth. If you don't believe you're worthy of good outcomes, maybe because you were so used to expecting the worst in the hopes that will protect you from being disappointed, or maybe you just have low self-esteem for various other reasons in your history, that's going to be a challenge for you to receive good things. You might not want to receive things because you feel there's going to be strings attached, or something bad will happen, or or again, maybe it's that stuff around feeling like you're not good enough, and that that means you're in debt to someone, and then that makes you uncomfortable for some reason. So there may be a few questions to ask yourself around that idea of receiving. It's a big one. I see it a lot. And Tuesday's card here is manifestation. So last week there was a massive theme around personal power, and I talked about this in regards to last Thursday's card, which was Rhiannon, a Celtic goddess associated with magic and nature, and the context of that card was helping create the things that you want in your life, and understanding that is a form of magic that is available to us. You didn't get into Hogwarts, but you have the ability to manifest things in your life. The thing that people often get wrong about the law of attraction is actually, they get the manifestation part, they're down with the visualization, maybe they're off creating the vision boards, they're very clear on what they want. Actually, sometimes people are not clear on what they want to do everything at once, and they're not really honed in enough on the most important things that they want. If you've got a laundry list, that can certainly be an issue. But the thing they often forget is to actually do the work. They're waiting for things to change. They believe the universe will bring it through. If I build it, then it will come, to quote that field of dreams. I can't remember, that Kevin Costner movie. And, there is certainly a lot of truth for the universe bringing things through for us, but we have to be willing to do the work. And if you're not doing that, it's hard for the universe to actually come through to support you, because there's nowhere to anchor the energy. So if your goal is really big and it scares you, that might be the reason you are you are not taking those action steps. So you might like to look at what's getting in the way here. Am I procrastinating because I'm scared I will fail? Am I procrastinating because maybe this actually isn't the right thing for me after all? Am I procrastinating because I'm worried about what people will think of me? There's always something going on underneath procrastination. Please don't think that you've got a lack of willpower. That's not what's going on there. So looking at those fear blocks might be what comes up for you around this card. Maybe it's around needing to be a bit more clear about what you want. Maybe it's just another invitation based on, you know, what we saw last week around needing to actually take charge of your life instead of, you know, hoping for the best, complaining. Yeah, I know there is a lot of waiting going on at the moment in terms of we're in a pandemic, there's a lot of uncertainty. So I do understand that a lot of us are limited to how much we can do at the moment, but there's still at least small things we can do. You know, your plans to move across the country might be on hold, but are there things you can do to get yourself in the right place to do that? Maybe you can declutter your house, so there's not quite so much work to do later on. That will help. Wednesday's card here is honor and trust your feelings. So this is really validation that your intuitive messages you have been receiving are accurate. So sometimes it really is just straight confirmation that you're right to go ahead with what you've been thinking about, working on or addressing. Sometimes, I'm sorry about that, there is a very I'm so sorry. So the grocery store near our house comes round every now and then and like lassos stray trolleys and puts them on the back of a trailer, which is really like not particularly, I mean, they're tied in, but yeah, it really makes a lot of noise. They've obviously been doing a lot of loops around the neighborhood today, so I apologize for that noise. Anyway, Wednesday's message, if you don't feel like you've been getting strong intuitive messages at the moment, maybe this is a call to actually sit with your feelings and do this. Now, this can be really challenging because sometimes people struggle to differentiate between what is the voice of fear or my ego and what is genuine intuition. If you've read Glennon Doyle's book, Untamed, you'll know she talks about intuition as being the knowingness. Maybe you would like to frame it that way if you're uncomfortable with more of the spiritual kind of terminology. And what she talks about in that book is she used to sit in her closet because it was the only space where the children couldn't find her. I think that was why she chose that anyway, and really sit in there with a notebook for about 10 minutes and just write or just think and let those chattering kind of messages that were going on in her mind fall away. So, because often you need to kind of mute the noise to let those messages come to the fore. Once you've, you know, tuned down the volume on that, what will people think of you if you start this business, or, you know, you will be judged if you go back to work after having children, whatever it is. Once you tune down the volume on those and just sit, it's easy to understand what you actually want to do, and that is a very important first step. Journaling can help because it's a way of getting some of the noise out of here onto the page so you can actually process it. Those thoughts feel like they've been, you know, heard, and then you can get to the real nitty-gritty of what's going on underneath all that noise. We can never silence our mind completely, as much as I know that idea is appealing. One of the things people often get wrong about meditation is the idea that it means, you know, turning off your mind or shutting down your mind. You just can't do that. That's not realistic. And that's not really what meditation is. It's just about finding those pockets of stillness within that and extending the amount of time where you can choose to let go of those thoughts and not, you know, jump on every thought that comes through your head. Thursday's card here, go for it. I always call this a Stevie Nicks card because that's what the woman on this, or the angel I should say, reminds me of here. So notice the unicorn here. You've probably heard me say this before, but unicorns are symbolic of miracles. So you can see straight away that there's a theme here around needing to believe in things that may seem impossible or highly unlikely. The rational part of your mind, which is all about fear, is about looking at what is the guaranteed outcome here that I can believe in, because I don't want to believe in something unless I've got a guarantee. The thing is, your intuition will be saying there's more here than what you can see that is beyond the rational, and that is the invitation for you to believe in that. It's not really called believing if there's something guaranteed. That's not really an act of faith. That's just a fact then. If it's guaranteed, it's a fact. Faith is about believing in things that there are no guarantees. We can't see the outcome. We don't know what's going to happen. That's why it's faith. And I know it's hard. So really look at what is it I want to do? Perhaps this exercise here that you've done on Wednesday around getting to the heart of your intuition, and meditation can help you with that. Figuring out what your intuition is telling you to do and going for it. This is the courage part coming through here, the surging ahead and going for it. And believing that good things can happen for you. It's going to be really difficult for you if you, if you're so committed to expecting the worst, and maybe you had really pessimistic parents who probably thought that was for your best and highest, greatest good, to believe in, bad outcomes, or to believe that things never work out for us, so that we can be surprised and happy when they do, instead of disappointed when they don't, because, I was expecting that, so there's no disappointment there. The truth is, if things don't work out for you, you're always going to be disappointed, even if you were kind of expecting it. Can't really insulate ourselves from that. The idea is to move ahead, even though we don't know what's ahead, we don't know how it's going to go, we don't have any guarantees, but hopeful that things can work out. You don't have to be 100% believing that things will go well for you. You just have to have enough hope to get started. Friday's card looks familiar, yes. 1, there's another unicorn. And B, it is the card we had last Thursday, which I referenced just before when I talked about the law of attraction. So here again is Rhiannon. The message is sorceress. It's encouraging you to work this magic that we have of manifestation. So you certainly don't have to be an angel card reader to see we've got a very strong theme emerging here of personal power, of manifestation, and courage. Courage is a big one. And equally, I suppose, faith would be tied in that. So Saturday's card here, you are lovable. This is not one we see very often. It's about self-worth and recognizing that we are deserving of love. We are deserving of respectful treatment, and understanding that our value isn't tied to our appearance, to our productivity, to the roles we play in society, the wife, the parent, the employee, the CEO, whatever role you're playing. That's not where your value comes from. You are lovable because you are loved. You are loved by the universe. Nothing you can do will change that. Nothing you choose, nothing you don't choose will alter that inherent worth that you have already. And the only person who needed convincing of that was you. Often we look at trying to convince other people of our worth. They don't need convincing. They either see it or they don't. Either way, that won't change. Even if you convince people that you're awesome, that doesn't really help you. You're still not going to feel that you're good enough if self-worth is a real issue for you. So, and please don't get self-worth or high or healthy self-worth confused with arrogance. They're not the same thing. This is not about thinking you're the best. It's not about putting yourself on the pedestal. It's just about believing that you deserve good things to happen for you. You deserve good outcomes. You are good enough to go for what you want, to make things happen, and you are deserving of love, most importantly. Please don't think, when I lose weight, I will be able to have awesome things happen for me. I will have more friends. I'll be more popular. Maybe you will be more popular, but the people who want to be friends with you just because of your size are not really good friends. So that's not a great goal to be focused on around weight. We do focus, there's so much value put on our appearance in this society. I wish that were not the case. It's not healthy, and it's certainly not helpful. In fact, it's detrimental. So look at where that may be playing out for you. Sunday's card is shield yourself, protecting your energy. Super, super important if you are an empath. And there are various ways to do that. There are things like carrying crystals such as black tourmaline. Clear quartz here can be another one. This is a beautiful crystal I was gifted. Meditation to shield yourself can also be helpful. But one of the best and simplest ways is simply to ask Archangel Michael, who has this wonderful warrior energy. So I do this every single day, and if I don't, I feel it pretty quickly. It's part of my regular routine, I guess you could say. Even if I don't have time to meditate, I always make sure I do this. Archangel Michael, please place me in a protective bubble of light today. And sometimes I will fancy that up a bit. I'll say, so that only love comes in and only love comes out. That doesn't mean that I'm not still going to have negative emotions or do adverse behaviours. It just means that I'm not going to be taking on board other people's energy and not sending out my own various energies that might adversely affect other people. So we need to be really mindful of our energetic footprint. If you're working with people who are vulnerable, perhaps they have health concerns, mental health concerns, you're working with children, perhaps people in really difficult social circumstances, this is going to be really important for you to shield yourself every single day. It takes less than 10 seconds. There is an article which talks a bit more about that on my website if you want more information. If you associate or identify as being an empath, really, really important. And if you're watching this, I would say you probably are falling into that empath category, because I am too, and the energy I put out is what I tend to attract back in. So really thinking about that. And also part of shielding ourselves is making good choices about where we spend our time, where we go. A lot of us are in restrictions at the moment, so perhaps those choices are taken away from us. But even interacting electronically, we can take on board people's energy. If you've got a parent or an auntie or a sibling or someone who is determined to see the worst in everything, who likes to tear people down, and endeavour to feel better about themselves, which we all know doesn't work, but people do it. That can really affect you. So you want to try and protect your energy, ideally by not engaging with these people, not spending time with them, or having various strategies employed when that happens, changing the subject, not reacting to it, etc. So the week is very much about, again, personal power and manifesting, very appropriate in Leo season, the sign of leadership, the sign of motivation, and the sign of action to an extent as well. So that's really the big thing here. I don't know if there's anything else in it. I suppose this, Fiona, this message about receiving is tied to this. You are lovable, in terms of this idea of letting ourselves receive love, blessings, support, etc. Even compliments can fall into that category. If you don't believe that you deserve those, that's going to be an issue for you. So perhaps there is a message for you around working on your self-worth. And remember to reach out for help if you need it. A spiritual coach, an energy healer such as myself. Most of us work remotely, so distance is no obstacle. So I think that's it for the week, really. Take care of yourselves, everybody. I know it's a difficult time, but even if we can't change our circumstances, we can still change the way we perceive it and make even tiny choices every day that signal to the universe that we know our worth, that we are committed to looking after ourselves, and that we know we're loved and deserving of that. So think about ways you can do that. I'm going to sign off now. You can reach me via my website, www.onegroundedangel.com. Wow, I really should have closed the windows today. I'm so sorry, I forgot. It's really loud out there. I'll say that again now that that truck has gone past. I live in the suburbs, not on a highway. I don't know why this is happening. www.onegroundedangel.com. And of course, my Instagram page is @OneGroundedAngel. My Facebook page is OneGroundedAngel. So come follow me. Each day I will put each card up and you'll get a different level of meaning from that. Take care, everybody.